How many of you can relate to the experience of being knocked down and getting back up, and being knocked down again and getting back up? This is so common for people who are living a life where they know that there's more out there for them, whether it's in their personal life, in their business, in the world. So many of us get knocked down again and again and again. And I want to reflect today on what a week I've been having, in hopes that maybe it validates some of the weeks that you may have. My name is Jill Vyn, and this is the Jill Vyn Show. And I have been recording raw and real and authentic stories and thoughts that come to me each time when I sit down in front of this camera with this microphone and think about you, the listener, and what might be valuable for you to hear today. So thank you for joining. Thank you for showing up. If you've listened before, I appreciate you. If this is your first time, welcome. I hope there's something here for all of you. This week, I have been feeling like I am just getting knocked down. Not by other people, not by the external world, but by myself, by my negative, looping, critical thoughts, by the self-doubt, by the worry, the fear, the scarcity mindset. My body has been charged like this electric charge, but not in a good way. My emotions feel like they've been trapped, and I want to just cry, and I want to release, and they won't come. And then I've paused, and I realized, I wonder, did I ask for this? Did I ask for this experience, knowing that in order to grow, I have to release that which doesn't serve me anymore? The parts of me, the personality, the aspects of me that doesn't serve me as I move forward. You know, as we grow from baby to toddler to adolescent to adult, our body changes. And sometimes there's growing pains that we feel, and other times it just happens, and we get familiar and we get comfortable with our new body. But what happens with our emotions is that we get so comfortable and safe with our emotions, sometimes emotions that we've had and carried with us since we were very young. Our bodies are holding these old emotions of fear and anger and grief and depression and despair and loneliness, all these low-level emotions. And we've become so familiar with them. If you've experienced trauma in your life, or if you've experienced any form of like living this life that where you believed you were not good enough, or you were not able to be seen, or you weren't worthy of love. Well, we hold on to these emotions and they start to feel safe. So as we're growing and expanding, and we're saying, I want to have other things in my life. I want to be visible. I want to be seen. I want to grow my business, and I want to attract clients, and I want to attract partners and collaborators and community. Well, that is not what we've been living. It's different. You're growing. Your body is growing, like from the inside out. And sometimes we grab so tightly onto these feelings that feel and have felt familiar. So maybe if I can bring it to a specific example. Grief. I've lived with and experienced significant grief. We all experience grief differently. In my life, my dad died when I was young, and my mother, who just was heartbroken, she was unavailable, understandably so. Grief is what connected me to my dad. And so grief is what I kept a hold of for so long in my life, until I realized that, oh my goodness, this is not the way I need to remember. I don't need grief to remember or to have a connection with my dad. And yesterday when I was asking my husband, who is incredibly supportive, to reflect back to me of like, where are you seeing me afraid? Where are you recognizing that I am showing up with fear? And without missing a beat, he said, you're afraid of failing. And I believe it's because you're still carrying so much weight from the nonprofit organization that has had to close in the last year. And I'm like, really? I've been doing so much work. I've been releasing this weight and leaning into the belief and the understanding of the beauty and the gifts and the power of the organization. And I realized, but there is one area where I'm holding on. And I wonder if the grief is what's holding me. It's like tethering me to the aspect of the organization or the parts of the organization where I felt like I failed. Because it keeps me connected. It keeps me responsible. It keeps me blaming myself and taking on more than my share of responsibility. And maybe that's my way of making sense of something that feels like a tragedy. The loss that I experienced of not only losing the organization, but a couple years before of losing my best friend who had passed away. So maybe this grief that I carry, maybe this grief that's tethering me to the organization and the responsibility that I feel for its failure is both a way to punish myself, to make sure that I don't make the same mistakes, that I don't fail, but that also that I don't forget. That I don't forget my friend. And then in those moments I realized, well, that's not how I want to remember my friend. And my husband said, if he was here right now, he would say, snap out of it. What are you talking about? You're being ridiculous. And I said, you're right. Because we would pause and we would consider all the joy that we had that connects us, not the pain. And so this week, as I asked for support in helping me release what needs to be released so that I can continue to grow and serve and support others, I believe it comes back to grief once again. But this time, because I understand and I know what grief feels like, I can start to have a different relationship with it. I can start to think about it in a way of a celebration of life rather than a responsibility in death. So here's an example of me getting back up again. I've been knocked down this week. But I keep getting back up because I believe that there is something that I offer you. There's something I offer this world. And I don't know exactly what it is always, but I know that it's important. So I'm going to keep getting back up, and I'm going to keep asking and encouraging you to get back up too, because I believe that you have a purpose in this life, in this world, for your family, for yourself, for your community. If you stay down, you're not going to live it out. You're not going to have an opportunity to see it through. So get back up. Get back up and focus on your vision. Acknowledge the pain. Let it flow through you. Acknowledge it and love yourself because of it. Because it's here for you to grow, to release what no longer serves you, so that you can become and be the person you're meant to be. If this resonated with you, I welcome you to like it, to share this podcast episode with someone else, to send me a message. You can contact me at jillvyn.com or on Instagram at jillvyn. Reach out. Let me know. I respond to all of my messages. It's the relationships that matter. I may not know you, but I will when you let me know that maybe you could use a hand. Or maybe you could use someone witnessing you in your pain, but also in your growth.